In this video, we're going to demonstrate how simple it is to set up an event in Subscribe 360. As part of this video, we'll have a quick look at the dashboards that are provided as part of the Events app. We'll also look at creating and managing an event. We'll take a quick look at prices and inventories on your tickets. We can look at event bookings, and we can also look at event invitations and marking people's attendance on the event, so did they turn up or not. And we'll also take a quick dive into the event profit and loss tab. Diving into the system, there are a number of dashboards that are provided as part of this app. First one is the Events Overview, which shows me a list of current and past events and any events in the future which are set up for a waiting list, and a breakdown of events a little further down, so I can see the number of places booked versus the number of spaces. You can see how many events were running per month and a breakdown of the events by type. Another dashboard that's available is the Events Finance dashboard, so we can see the income versus cost for our current events, past events, revenue per cost. There's lots of information which can be derived from this dashboard. And finally, we have the Event Booking dashboard, which will show me all of the bookings which are in progress, as well as all of the bookings which have gone through and any tasks relating to those bookings. It's also supported by a chart showing you the values of the invoices per month which relate to an event. Let's look at an event in the system. If we look at this one, the S360 Autumn Conference, you can see it's broken down into a number of tabs. You've got the General, CPD, Venue, Website, Display tab, etc. So as you can see, S360 provides a lot of functionality around your event, which makes it easy for users to manage. If we take a quick look at that event as it appears on the portal, I can see here we have the Autumn Conference. If I view the details of that event, I can see not only the name of the event and the fact it's a conference and how many spaces are left, I can see the dates that it's running, the time, the venue, a map to the event, and different tabs that are available on the page. So I can see an overview of the event, I can see the programme, and I can also see a quick breakdown of the tickets. And from here, I can book. So how do we set these up? Well, it's very simple with Subscribe 360. As we can see, we have an autumn conference here, so what I'm going to do for the demonstration is create a record for the winter conference. So all I do from a list of events is click New. I can set the type as, I'll say this is a networking event. I'll set the start date, let's say 30th of November to the 2nd of December. And set my attendee limit. For ease of demonstration, I'm just going to set that to 100. So that means we can have a maximum of 100 people coming to our event. Got a lot of control here. So if I'm allowing early bird tickets, I can set the early bird start date and end date here. I can also define the event start time and end time. So let's do that. Let's put 9 AM to 4 PM. In fact, let's make a little prompt that we start at 9 AM sharp. So I can set my booking open dates, my booking closure date. If I leave them blank, there are no restrictions, but I can restrict the dates that tickets are available using those fields. One of the handy features of Subscribe 360 is the ability to tie a price list to your event. And what that means is any tickets or options which are available in that price list are available on this event. Users and organisations can choose to have a unique price list per event if that's required, or if you have a standard price list, or in this case it's a seasonal conference where the prices are the same, we can use the same price list on multiple events. So in this case I'm going to say this uses the standard 3-day event price list. Scroll down slightly. If there are a minimum number of attendees that we need to run this event, I can log that there. I can also control the behaviour of bookers when they're booking onto the event. We'll look at that both in the website tab and also here. But it is important that users understand the ability to limit the maximum number of attendees which can be booked in any one booking. So you may limit it to 5 attendees per booking, so you can put that in there. That means when I'm booking, I can add up to 5 attendees to my booking and no more. If I wanted to make more bookings, I could then do so, but I'd be limited to 5 per booking. You may also choose to limit the number of attendees who can attend your event from a particular organisation. So let's say spaces are limited and you don't want any member organisations or any organisations taking up more than 20 of your tickets, in which case you can populate that in here. Again, Just like the booking open and closing dates, if you don't put a value in, there are no limits. You can also control whether or not you want to allow non-members to book member tickets as part of the process. Another feature that Subscribe 360 provides when you're setting up an event is the ability to automatically create a marketing list for people who are booked onto the event. So you may have some event comms you want to send out pre-event. You can also choose to have a marketing list set up for those attendees who are booked and those who remain pending. Lastly, in this section, you can also associate a marketing list with your event and invite the people on that marketing list to your event, but we'll demonstrate that later on in this video. That is the event essentially starting to be set up. A powerful feature of Subscribe 360 allows you to tie this event to a particular group or committee that you have in your database. So you may have a committee meeting that you want to invite people to, track attendance, allow them certain options, in which case it's very easy to do. You just tie your event to a particular group or committee. I'm choosing in this case not to, but it is very easy to do so. Another very useful feature of Subscribe 360 when it comes to managing your events is the CPD tab. You can assign a CPD value to your event. So if your event is valid for CPD, you can set that to yes, and the system then requires you to tell it what the award is. So I'm going to say it's 25. Now that can be done in minutes, hours, or points. In this case, it's just the CPD award. I can also set up the venue on my event, but before we do that, I want to finish off the website tab, so let's look at that first. On the website tab, I can set an image for my event. I can set a summary for the event, so I'm just going to put in here, summary goes here, so you can see it coming out later on, and I can also set a description for my event. When your event is created, it will create a portal page for that event, but that portal page doesn't appear in any listings, so people can't get to the event to book it, but it does mean it's available for you to go in and administer. Your event does not appear on your portal until you have chosen to make it available on the portal. You can also choose to make your event invitation only, in which case it doesn't appear in any portal listings and users can only get to the page by being sent an invite. You can control whether it appears on your home page of your web portal, as well as whether it appears in the event listing. The options further down relate to the booking experience. So if as part of the booking engine, you want people to be asked for their dietary requirements, that can be set to yes. If it's set to no, they're simply not asked. If there's a requirement for you to send something out in relation to the event, we'd need to capture shipping details, and again, this controls whether or not someone is asked. And lastly, in this little section, you can give bookers the option to opt in and out of any delegate lists by changing the flag on this field. Final option here is the payment options. When people are booking online, which options for payment do you want to allow them to make? Well, in this case, I'm going to say someone can pay online or bill by invoice. So again, very easy to set up. So we've set up our event, we've said it's available for CPD, we've set up some of the details of the website, so now it's time to set the details of our venue. Now I'm going to say that this conference is being held at C2's head office. So I'll put the details in here, populate the postcode, and save. At the moment, we have an event set up. We can see the general details here. We can see the CPD award, see details of the venue, as well as details of the website. So if I want to see what that looks like, I can go to the portal. We can see here, because I haven't set an image yet, there's no image, but I can see the winter conference. And you can see the summary is written out on this page. When I click to view, I haven't set up any display tabs on my event page, but we can see here the from and to date, the time. Remember, we've put in sharp just to remind attendees, and the venue along with a nice handy map showing you where the event is taking place. Scroll down and I can see the book button. It's taken all of these tickets off of the price list that we set, so that shows the ticket range. And now what we'd like to do is go in and put a limit on the number of early bird tickets that are available, because we don't want all 100 places being filled up with early bird tickets. So what we do is we return to our event and we set up a product inventory. On this product inventory, We're just telling it which product has a limit on it. So I'm going to say it's the early bird. I'm going to say there's a limit on 20 of those. We cannot sell any more than 20. So I'm going to say it's full event, 3-day ticket, limit 20. What that means basically is as people are booking on via the portal or manually if a user is doing it for them, it will allow the sale of this ticket up to a maximum of 20 and then it's not available for purchase anymore. Now, this event is a 3-day event. So Subscribe 360 allows you to do is break your event down into different tabs and make different tickets and options available on different days. That's controlled through the Event Days tab. If we click here, set up a new one, I'm going to set up day 1, which starts on the 30th of November, 4 p.m. And once I've saved it, I can then control which tickets and options and any sessions are available on that date. So what I'm going to say is say which tickets and options are available. Well, for day 1, that's covered by that ticket. And that one, you can take a breakfast on that day. We've got a day 1 ticket, we've got a day 1 non-member, and you have your early bird. What that means is if someone registers for day 1, they must have one of these tickets, and that option can be made available to them. If you're providing sessions on certain days, you can also add them. So let's do that. I'm going to say day 1's got the first session and the second session in it. And what that means is someone who's booking onto this event can choose which of those sessions they want to come to. So I'll just repeat that for day 2 and day 3. And now that the event days are set up, if we go back to the portal, we can see that as well as the tickets, we also have the program that's set up so we can see what's happening in the first session and second session and the tickets that cover them. As you can see, that page may not be exactly how you require it. So, again, another feature of Subscribe 360 is very handy, is the ability to break your event down into different display tabs. So if I add a new display tab here, we'll say it relates to an event. We're going to show this at order 10, and the type we're going to do is I'm going to put event program in. I'm going to give it the name of program. I'm also going to add another tab with the tickets on it. And you can also give users the ability to add extra information by adding an editable text area. I'm going to call this overview. When we go back to our event, we can see that this page is now broken down. We can see the program on one tab. We can see the tickets on another tab. And I also have an area with editable text where I, as an administrator, can come in and add any rich text that I like in here. So I can add some text, some pictures, some links, some downloads, any information that you want to add here. You'll also see I've got a book button. I can use that option to book onto my event. That is covered in another video, so we're not going to look at that in any great detail just now. But another great feature that Subscribe 360 allows is the ability to add a marketing list to your event and send out invitations to people who are on it. Let's say I'm going to send this out to everyone who was booked onto the members' social night. By populating this field, I can then run a flow, and that flow will send an invitation to everyone who is on that list. That invitation would obviously be branded in whichever way you wished, but generally it would contain a link to the event, i.e. this one, which means someone could click onto the event and then start a booking. As we can see, there was only one person on that list because it was a demonstration, but I can see someone has been invited, and when that person receives it, the email will say in it, do you wish to accept or reject this invitation? It would then take them to that page, confirm they want to reject or accept the invitation, and you would see here whether they've accepted or declined. Someone who accepts will be taken to the booking page and would go through the normal booking engine. Subscribe 360 also allows the ability to add event sponsors to your event. So anyone who's sponsoring your event, you can have that registered here, and that feeds into your profit and loss tab. Your profit and loss tab will show you all of the bookings that come through, and any sponsorship packages would have an invoice generated. That counts as income. And any costs that you have for your event can be added here. The system will compare your revenue to your cost and show you a general idea of your profit. As people book onto your event, you will see event attendees appearing here. Now, we haven't made our event available to book yet, so let's look at an example where that's already been done. We have our autumn event. Has been open for booking for a couple of days, and if we look at that here, we can see there's 41% full. If I go to the profit and loss, I can see the costs that have been added. So we've got £6,000 for the hire, £850 for the breakfasts, and £2,200 for the dinner and drinks. But all of the income that is associated with the event can be seen here. So we can see at the moment the revenue so far from bookings and sponsorships is nearly 13,000. Total cost is 9,000, and the difference between the two is just over 3,500. As well as that, as well as seeing your invoices and costs, obviously every person who is booked on as part of these bookings is added as an event attendee. We can see at the moment there are 43 bookings for this event, but at the moment it only shows 41 attendees booked. And the reason for that is this person here is still pending. If they then pay their invoice, they're changed to booked, and that would join that number here. So as you can see, there's a lot of power that Subscribe 360 gives you in both creating your events, giving you options for your bookers for events, and managing your events at the end. All of these delegates are registered against the event, and a user can come in and update whether they attended or not for the event, and if they are attended, they are provided with that CPD score. So as you can see, a full comprehensive suite of packages that allow you to manage all aspects of your events.